Adventure with motion picture camera and airplane. That was the life of Martin Johnson, who flew and filmed with his wife Osa. He was a pioneer of motion pictures and aircraft in exploration. In the study of remote places, he preferred to make his record for the screen. In traversing desert and jungle, he preferred the sky route. Martin Johnson was the popular naturalist. In Africa with Osa, he made a memorable series of adventure and wild animal pictures. Before that, in their early exploring days, they had been in Borneo, which had left an abiding memory. So 18 years later, they returned with camera and plane to the Isle of the Impossible. Their culminating adventure and culminating picture, and their last. They came home to bitter, ironic fatality. Martin said he always felt safer in the wilds than in civilized places. Just after arranging the production of this picture, he and Osa took an airliner to California. It crashed. Martin killed, Osa injured. He pioneered an exploration with plane and film. He perished in a plane at home and left behind this, his greatest film, Borneo. Geography dictated their first exploit. From Singapore, the crossroads of the world, their destination was the other side of Borneo, across the China Sea, then across the giant Savage Island by the sky route. In that plane, they flew on many a great adventure in their African years. Now it is to be the spirit of Africa winging across Borneo. Osa spies the island of the lepers, where victims of the dread malady are segregated and kept apart. Now they have crossed the China Sea, but that was the least of this flight. Because it was wings across Borneo, that island of primitive ferocity, which gave its name to the traditional wild men. Legendary with the terror of Dayak pirates, a jungle land of headhunters. No such flight had ever been made before. So perilous, the British authorities said no, and at first refused a permit. Borneo is divided between the British and the Dutch. There's Sandakan, capital of British North Borneo, the only colony governed by a chartered company. They were not looking for towns. So on over the jungle, teeming with the fantastic life that makes this the Isle of the Incredible. The Kalimantan River, that's their adventure trail. Far up the stream, they will find the darkest depth. So follow the Kalimantan. It's a stem winder. It winds all over the place. The rivers in Borneo are like that, meandering almost in circles. Looks like a lawn, carefully mowed. But those trees tower 200 feet high, giant walls of equatorial foliage. The destination of this expedition is the deepest and darkest jungle of all, a remote place, the maximum of wilderness. Waterways are about the only way that they can get anywhere in this world of towering thicket. The rivers, likewise, are the only landing fields, and pilot Jim Laneri had better be skillful, here where the flying fields are jungle streams. The river dwellers here are the Murus. Along the coast, the natives are of the Malay race, sea-roving conquerors. Here in the interior are the older and more primitive tribes. Headhunters they used to be, and maybe still are. Osa finds their language utterly strange, but a stroke of luck. Martin finds one of the Muruts who has been to Sandakan among the English there.
How are you?
Oh, I'm all right. How are you? So you speak English, huh?
Yes, yes.
Where'd you learn to speak English?
When I'm small boy, I was working at Sandakan.
Oh, and you learned there from the white people, huh? How'd you like to go along with me as interpreter?
Yes,
huh?
I like it.
You like to go,
Yeah,
would you, huh?
yeah.
What's your name?
Logan.
Logan, huh? How much money you want?
Plenty, sir.
Oh, you want plenty, do you? All right, I think maybe you can go with me. That'll be fine. Yes,
Expedition headquarters is to be deep in the jungle. So push on. Snakes, flying snakes, serpents on wings. This island of the unimaginable abounds in reptiles. They're weird, fascinating. They're poisonous, not so fascinating. And they fly. The Muruts have told Martin about a place abounding with strange equatorial life. Look out for the equatorial life. There's some of it. Osa is brave, not afraid of a mouse, but that's no mouse. The blowgun, the native weapon, poisoned arrow. Watch that aim. Jaw transfixed by the dart tipped with venom. The Murut marksman knows the poison is doing its deadly work. They cut their way for hours to the haunt of jungle life that the natives have talked up so highly.
Say, Logan, wait a minute. What do you think about this place?
Well, I think it'll be awfully pretty when it's cleared.
This'll be a fine place. Now, Logan, you go tell the boys to come around here and cut all this down, huh? We'll cut 2 or 3 acres. We'll make a fine camp here. Get all their knives and their pangas. Get them here. Go on,
Yes,
Utah, you go with me. We'll look around while you're gone.
See what's over there.
Okay, wait a minute. Look over there.
Haunt of jungle life is right. River monkeys. And here they are to establish their home, a laboratory for the popular naturalist. The tropical green abounds with the creatures of the wild. The rare Borneo deer. Here they'll make their headquarters and film with infinite cunning and care shy, wary beasts like this. And curious birds, like the white heron. Now we need a scientist. We need a zoologist. So I present that eminent naturalist, Professor Lou Lair.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. So little is known about the proboscis family that nobody can check up on, I speak freely. In this rare community of dwibblepuses, family life is very human. Little Junior, whose schnozzle is yet only a nozzle, climbs trees like a monkey, while Mama, with a dainty lady-sized beezer, serves a spring salad lunch to all the little hose noses. Outside of using them for sneezing, snoring, and schniveling, no other reason has ever been found for the super colossal schmeller. The Durante family, the proboscis family, is very heavy eaters. It takes a lot of jungle hors d'oeuvres to wear them out. Notice the perfect rhythm of their schnoots, how the nose beats time with a master. See it? Swing it, sister. Human beings always connect noses with being curious, inquisitive. But these Borneo scoop noses is very exclusive. With a puss like theirs, you wouldn't be a good mixer either. These are the faces that you always remember, but you don't know where to put them. Everything ain't always hunky-dooley with a proboscis family. They're like any other married people. So far, you ain't seen the papa here. He's late for dinner again. That's why Mama is always looking around. Only Grandpapa is home to protect them. Hey, Grandpop. You got a flat. Still Papa ain't home yet. He must be out with the boys again, drinking palm juice. Yep, she sees him on the front step. Plastered. Look at that souse. He just stuck his nose in the lodge and they filled it up. Ain't you ashamed? Disgracing the family. I hope you get hay fever. Yeah, Mama, that's him. Hide the children. He's coming out of it. No, he ain't sick. He's just got the nose jitters. Look how it twitches. If he hiccuped, it would knock his teeth out. Boy, is he in the doghouse. She's so mad, she wouldn't care if Grandpop zocked him in the nose. And I wouldn't give Grandpop any credit if he missed it. Look, now he's got the DTs. He sees little pink men running around. Tomorrow, he'll say it was something he ate, no doubt. Grandpop is furious. Ain't it strange that monkeys with noses like Grandpop's smell just the same as other monkeys? Everybody knows that monkeys don't have fleas. Everybody but the monkeys. So little Ludwig gets his once over pretty near. Even that, the world's greatest scientists don't know whether the monkeys grow these noses or these noses grow the monkeys. Look, Schnarzola Durandi is still at it. Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. So Palm Juice Jake comes out of it, empties the icebox, and wonders what the chances is to go back with his family. Heavy, heavy, what a hangover. But even as you and us, he's still in the doghouse. She won't talk. So what? So he goes back to the lodge for more palm juice.
I guess we don't need the professor now. More in keeping would be a teller of tales of fantastic terror. From this point on, the Martin Johnson expedition is bound for the headhunter country. This type of native boat is called a gobong, essentially a dugout, primitive but well adapted to navigating the streams and shallows of the Borneo jungle. Borneo water turkey. The endless walls of jungle unfold. The equatorial forest of palms and ironwood, and equally hard, the tembesu, bamboo and rattan, and the spreading banyan tree. All dominated by the towering tipang tree, monarch of the jungle. Martin and Osa called this the most beautiful scenery they had ever beheld. Beauty, yes, and fantastic. Here in this isle of the undreamable, nature plays some of her weirdest pranks. We're approaching one now, and prank is right, a freak of nature. Explorers have told of the tree-climbing fish. They've described these creatures of paradox, and it all sounded like a traveler's fable. But here they are, actually filmed. What is the scientific explanation? Tell us, Professor.
Thank you. With tree-climbing fish, science is stumped. The only time I saw things like these before was after a couple of bottles of schnapps. Only the ones I saw you could make disappear with aspirin tablets, isn't?
They're real fish, too, and not exaggerated tadpoles or lizards. These are precisely the same order of life as trout, swordfish, or sea bass. They've become adapted to the conditions of the Borneo jungle, sudden floods, pools that swiftly dry up, fish left stranded on land. Nature has adapted them to that, and as the shore is a tangle of trees, branches, and roots, the fish have got used to the trees. This is a living example of the probable way that terrestrial beings came into existence on this planet. The swarming life of the ocean creeping out on the land. Fish accommodating themselves to life out of the water. You can imagine how in an eon of time, these paradoxical creatures may lose the way of the water altogether and develop into creatures of the land. And sure enough, They actually climb into the lower branches of the trees, so they are tree-climbing fish. They're a tall story come true, but then so is all Borneo. And now, on with the journey to dank cavern, some gloomy river of the netherworld in Dante's Inferno. Here we find no light, fantastic mood of tree-climbing fish.